Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
You know, fight camp, everybody's always talking about the training and, and stuff like that. But there's a lot more to fight camp than just training. You know, you have to go get physicals. You have to go get blood work. You have to get visas during fight camp, right? It's pretty hectic. How much of a hassle is that for you?
Hassle is not really the right word, but I keep a very full schedule, so it's not that easy for me to, move around and do short notice things like jump in and out of medical appointments. And if things get changed around, I have a tight schedule. I'm running a business. I'm running my gym. I still have to get my training sessions in each day. So, I've done it enough times that you just got to plan appropriately, but there's no doubt it's a little bit stressful. There's always like a little check mark when you get it all done and you don't have to worry anymore, and you're just focusing on preparing for the fight. So I look forward to having it all done.
Yeah, man, fight camps are pretty hectic. And you mentioned, you have your own gym. It's still kind of brand new. How has it been building that up?
It's awesome, man. We're almost at a year. I'm about a month away from being a year, and it's going really good. For me, obviously I want the business to do well, but I feel really awesome. I'm just doing martial arts every day. I'm training, I'm coaching, I'm building our kids program. You can probably hear them in the background. It's just everything is going great, and I just love that martial arts has become my life. And I still look forward to it every day.
Life is good, right? Life is good.
Very much.
Yes. And I wanted to talk about the Raw Tank seminar fiasco. Man, like that was some wild stuff, right? Like them denying him into the country. They don't know. They could just Google Raw Tank, like.
We never know the whole story. We really don't.
Yeah.
Like we were dealing with a company that was their job, was to get them here. According to them, they do everything right, and it's somebody else's fault. But it always goes back and forth. So I'm sure it lies somewhere in between. But yeah, like it was a done deal. He was in Canada in the airport, and they turned him around, but they let his girlfriend come, his coach come, his manager, but they stopped him and turned him around. And it was a miserable experience for him too, because that's a long flight. And then he had to stay at the airport for another like 20 hours until there was a flight going back, and they just turned him around and put him right on another flight. So I wouldn't expect to see him back in Canada anytime soon. I don't think that was a great experience for him. Obviously, it sucks for us. I mean, we were planning on having him, but he had a pretty bad day too. So yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were disappointed. You know what I mean? Because Rod Tang is one of the big guys, out there for Muay Thai, and just fighters out there, worldwide.
Yeah, no, it was going to be a really cool experience. And whenever we do things, like we don't do a lot, almost ever when it comes to seminars or things like that. But if it's something big, like as big as it gets when it comes to Muay Thai or MMA or Jiu-Jitsu, that's how we want to do it. So yeah, we were pretty bummed, but we'll cook something else up.
For sure, man. I'm looking forward to it. Let's turn our attentions to you and your fight career. March 16th, you're returning back to action. Your opponent, he's making his debut. Thoughts on him and the skill set?
Yeah, it's a great fight. I think that he's got a lot of striking accolades, and I think that's going to be where he feels most comfortable. But I'm also comfortable there. And MMA striking is different than some of the Muay Thai kickboxing that he's done. I got double the fights. This is my 5th fight with the UFC. I mean, including Contender Series, it'll be his 2nd. I feel like I've got the experience. I know I got the power on the feet if he really wants to stand and exchange. And I'm really confident in the grappling. So, I mean, this one was a no-brainer. Jumped off the paper. I knew it'd be exciting, which is, high on my priority list for when I'm picking fights. It's got to be somebody that I respect. I know is going to make weight. I know is going to show up, and I know is going to fight hard. And I know I'm getting that out of him. And then the rest of it, I mean, on paper, I looked at it. My coach looked at it. We're like, this fight is tailor-made for us. Let's make the most of it.
There you go. And the last time you fought was in November. How were you coming out of that fight, physically, mentally?
That was a tough loss. One of my toughest losses I've had. And it's frustrating. But that's where the experience comes in. I can dust myself off. I can get back in there. I did things that were good in the fight that I can still take away positives from. I thought my wrestling was good. I thought I dealt with some of the challenges that Jose had as far as his length, body type. Thought he did a lot of things good, but I didn't have a great night. I had a shitty fight, and I felt shitty walking in there. I felt shitty in between rounds. I just wasn't myself. I didn't have a great fight, and he did, and I ended up giving that one away. So it stings, but that's also the game. You know, I can dust myself off. I don't. I've had some losses, but I don't feel like these guys are, you know, making me feel like I don't belong in the UFC. I know I belong there. I know I can beat these guys. You know, any given night, things can happen. I don't want to take it away from Jose. He won, but man, I just had a shitty fight, and it really bugs me. So I'm excited to get back in there and do what I do.
You know, for a fighter, you know, I mean, this is not basketball, or baseball, or soccer. This is fighting, and looking in the mirror and facing the facts of, like, you know, how you perform, because some people are very delusional, right, in this game.
Delusion can help sometimes. You know, I like to think that I lie somewhere in between delusion and reality, because not all of either would not be good probably. But, you know, I know things that went well, things that went bad, and I just want to get back in there and make the adjustments. I mean, if you're searching for this perfect performance, it doesn't exist. So I know that I've had great fights and I still have felt bad about. So I've learned that enough through experience that, you know, you're never going to feel super satisfied with any performance, and you're always going to want to grow and get better. So I'm not too hard on myself, because I know I prepared properly. I just didn't have a great fight. You know, if I didn't prepare properly and underperformed or quit or whatever, you know, I'd be frustrated, but I know I gave it my best and it just didn't work out. So I'm okay to just turn it around and get back in there.
There you go. And you know, you made some changes ahead of that last fight. Are you continuing with the same regimen, or did you make more changes? What's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a pretty good balance between, you know, running the gym in the evenings, getting my own training in during the days with specific training partners, specific coaches. I mean, I'm as good as I've ever been. My training, my sparring, my MMA rounds, everything's going better than it ever has. So I know I'm doing something right. I just really need to dial in and make sure I'm focused for that fight night, to make sure I don't have any lapses where I'm just not fighting like myself. But as far as training, I'm in great shape. The weight's perfect. I'm hitting hard. I'm grappling well. My wrestling's really on point. I wouldn't change a thing. Like, I think I'm doing everything the right way. So yeah, I'm excited.
And who are you working with for this one?
You know, my pretty standard stable of guys. We got a ton of training partners in all martial arts. So I've got lots of high level BJJ guys. Like today, I was just training with. I have a group of guys. We meet up at noon, and it's all black belts, brown belts, killers in BJJ, and that's just what we do. And they're after me every round. Like we did 14 rounds, and it's just every one of them's a killer, and they have their own specialties that I'm always dealing with. And then, you know, the day before, Tuesday night, we do it's like our more advanced Muay Thai group gets together, and we spar and we drill. And I've got, you know, a lot of our pros, Nick LeBlanc, Mac Larson, Chris, Hakeem's there. Just all our top guys are there. And then, of course, we have our MMA days under head coach Brian, where we have an MMA technique and MMA sparring days. So, I mean, I got tons of pros, tons of bodies to deal with, and I got the best coaches. I've got, you know, high-level wrestlers to wrestle with, high-level jiu-jitsu guys to play jiu-jitsu with, great strikers, and we have a huge MMA team. So, I mean, the training is just, it's easy. Like, I don't have to think hard about it. I literally just go, and there's world-class people just at our fingertips. So Champions Creek's pretty stacked that way, and makes life easier.
14 rounds against some black belts and brown belts. That does not sound like fun, because I've, you know, like when I used to grapple, like going against brown belts and black belts is something that I did not. You're a high level grappler, you're an MMA fighter, so it's a little different. But when you're going against specialists, it does change the things a little bit, right?
Yeah, you have to improve. I mean, I can't just do what I always do. If one of the guys today I'm working with is just really good on the back at control and chokes. So that's what I work on until I get better and better, until I can get out more and more and start to take the advantage of it. So if you're not pushing yourself against those guys, you're just not going to actually get better. You're just going to do what you always do well, and that will be okay. But I'm a martial artist. Like, I'm always getting better in between my fights. And it's definitely going to show when I get back in there too.
Are you still in the gi? Do you still train in the gi as well?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I teach a lot in the gi too, so I always stick around and we roll with the guys, and I always get some gi work in. It's a little bit more of an in-between fight camp training for me. Same with like weightlifting. You know, it's more of an in-between fight camps. Fight camp is about conditioning, no-gi, wrestling, grappling, and our striking game. So like I change it up a little bit, but during camp I get a little bit more MMA specific, but I'm always pretty open. Like during camp, they'll still be like last week we did our rolling rounds in the gi just because it's harder. Like I'm always just searching for whatever's more difficult or going to give me challenges. So.
For sure, man. And, expectations in this one, you're coming off back-to-back losses. So people are thinking, oh, they're going to underestimate you, man. And that's what happens in this game. What is your thoughts on like what you want to do in this fight?
I'm fighting for my job. It's not, I don't delusion myself that way. It's the last fight on my contract, coming off a couple losses. Even though I thought I felt well, fought exciting, you have to win. And I am not losing again. Like I don't plan on going to these fights and getting on TV and losing in front of my team and friends and family. Like that's not something that I'm making a habit of. So I really plan on going out there and not just winning, but getting paid. I'm going to win with a big finish, get that great new contract, get a bonus. Like this is my big opportunity. So these other fights, they had some ups and downs, but I've got my feet wet. I feel comfortable, and I'm going in there to really not just beat this guy because I know I'm better than him. I know I'll beat him, but I'm really going to smash him and remind everybody why I'm here.
Why you're the monster, the name.
That's right.
There you go. And have you had any experiences with the new testing, Drug Free Sports International? Have they come by?
Yeah, they came through last week. Actually, they came through while I was doing kids class, and they came through, and I had to get my first test through with them. So it was all good. Same old thing. I mean, I didn't expect it to be much different, but they're around, so it's happening.
Nice. One last question: UFC 299 bantamweight division. The title's up for grabs. O'Malley versus Chito Vera, the rematch. Who has the edge in the rematch? Do you think?
I think it's O'Malley. His confidence. He's been getting a lot better. Not that Chito hasn't, but I think O'Malley is on a different level right now. He's really peaking. He's really maximizing his style. He has the confidence to go with it. I think O'Malley's a bad matchup for Chito stylistically too. So I know he got that first win. And not to discredit it, but I think them versus now, O'Malley's really stepped it up a lot. So he'd be the smart pick in my opinion.
What do you think of the durability factor? Because we've seen Chito just go at it with people, right? Just march forward, take shots, and to give shots. O'Malley, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, it matters. It's still a fight. It's still a fist fight. So things like that definitely have play a factor. And momentum is, a make or break thing in fights too. And it's funny, but simply just having durability can be a momentum swing in your favor. I've been lucky to be on that side of it sometimes. So it can work. And if Chito plays it right, I mean, it could definitely work for him too.
Yeah, especially if you're hitting a guy and he just keeps coming forward, and you're like, what do I have to do to this guy, right? Like
that feeling, it really is when you do everything you wanted to do, and the guy doesn't care and keeps coming forward. It's it's hard to deal with.
March 16th, man, a phenomenal matchup, Chad. UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for taking the time. All the best in the upcoming fight, your business, and just life in general, Chad. You're a great guy to talk to. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.